Have you ever found yourself begging for attention or chasing someone who doesn't see your value, waiting for approval that never comes? Stop. Stop wasting your energy on people, situations, or even dreams that drain you. Stop giving your power away. The more you chase, the further they run. The more you beg, the less you respect yourself. And the solution? Focus on you. We live in a world that tells us to hustle, to chase, to compete for recognition. Social media shows someone else's highlight reel, and suddenly we feel behind. We text again, call again, hoping they'll notice us, hoping for validation outside ourselves. Let me ask you, has it ever worked? Chasing rarely brings fulfillment. Begging rarely builds respect. I remember a friend who constantly texted someone she liked. Every maybe was enough for her to hope. Every silence made her anxious. And yet, nothing changed. She gave away her time, her dignity, her peace of mind, all for someone who wasn't ready to give the same in return. Then one day, she stopped. No more calls. No more texts. She focused on her passions, her friends, her growth. Guess what happened? The energy she spent chasing came back to her in unexpected ways. Confidence replaced anxiety. Joy replaced longing. And yes, the people worth her attention started showing up naturally. When you focus on yourself, you stop living in someone else's narrative. You stop waiting for permission to be happy. You stop giving your power away. Think about a magnet. If you push two magnets together, they repel. But if you step back and let them find their natural pull, they attract effortlessly. You are that magnet. Stop pushing. Stop begging. Step back and let life, love, and opportunities gravitate toward you naturally. So today, make a choice. Don't beg, don't chase. Focus on you. Invest in your growth, your dreams, your happiness. Build yourself so high that the world has no choice but to notice. Because the most magnetic people are not those who chase. They are those who shine. And when you shine, everything you've been chasing will either catch up to you or it wasn't meant to be. Step into your power. Focus on you. And watch life align with your energy. Here are some key points related to this. Begging and chasing drains your energy and self-respect. Validation must come from within, not others. Focusing on personal growth creates confidence and joy. The right people and opportunities are drawn to you naturally. Stepping back can create the attraction you've been seeking. Your happiness and power are your responsibility. Shine first. Everything else follows. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to lose yourself when you're chasing someone or something that doesn't value you? It starts subtly, almost invisibly. You text first, you call first, you smile when you don't feel like it, hoping that maybe, just maybe, this person will notice you. At first, it feels harmless, even natural. After all, who doesn't want connection, affection, or acknowledgement? But little by little, the energy you pour out begins to vanish from inside you, like water slipping through your fingers. You stay up late crafting the perfect message, waiting for a reply that never comes. You make excuses for their absence, telling yourself, maybe they're busy, maybe they just don't realize how much I care. And in that endless cycle, you begin to trade pieces of your dignity for the hope of validation. You start questioning yourself, wondering if you are enough, if your presence matters. You forget that the world does not measure your worth by how much you beg or how persistently you chase. I remember someone I knew, a young woman named Sarah, who was caught in this pattern. She liked a colleague at work, someone who seemed kind but never quite reciprocated her attention. She would go out of her way to be helpful, always smiling, always volunteering for small favors, hoping he'd notice, hoping he'd acknowledge her presence. Every casual greeting felt like a victory, and every ignored message felt like a dagger. She was exhausted mentally and emotionally, but she convinced herself it was worth it. Friends tried to warn her, saying, "Sarah, you're giving away your energy for someone who doesn't see you." But she couldn't hear it. The pull of hope, the fear of missing out, was too strong. Her world revolved around his reactions, his moods, his indifference. And in that revolving door of longing, she lost touch with what made her vibrant in the first place. Her own passions, her own joy, her own voice. It's a pattern as old as human desire itself. Think of it like a plant that's being watered too much. The roots are there, capable, ready to grow, but the constant pressure and overtension damage the stem. You want to grow, but every day you're being pulled in directions that don't nourish you. You chase someone else's approval instead of nurturing your own soil. You beg for their recognition instead of letting your own light bloom naturally. And the irony is that the more you chase, the less attractive you become, because people are drawn to confidence, to strength, to someone who stands firm in their own worth. Begging signals the opposite. It signals neediness, insecurity, and the absence of self-respect. I've seen it countless times in friends, strangers, even myself. There's a man I knew who spent years trying to get back into the life of an old friend. He called, he visited, he explained. He apologized endlessly for past mistakes, hoping for reconciliation. And what did he get? Silence, polite dismissal, or half-hearted replies. Every attempt felt like it should bring him closer, but instead it pushed the other person further away. Yet the lesson wasn't in their response. It was in his actions. Every moment he spent chasing them was a moment he could have spent building himself, learning a skill, making new connections, discovering who he truly was when no one was watching. Begging and chasing doesn't just waste time. It chips away at your self-esteem. You begin to measure your worth externally, through the eyes of others. And the truth is, no one outside of you holds that power. The energy you give away in pursuit of someone else's approval is energy you could invest in yourself, in the people who already value you, in the dreams that will honor your own potential. It's exhausting, it's painful, and often leave you wondering why you ever allowed yourself to get lost in someone else's orbit instead of shining in your own. There's a quiet kind of suffering that comes from waiting for someone else to tell you that you're enough. It's subtle, almost invisible at first. You post a photo, a thought, a project, and then you sit scrolling, waiting for likes, comments, or messages to confirm your worth. You start measuring your mood by someone else's reaction, your confidence by someone else's acknowledgement. And slowly, without realizing it, you hand over control of your happiness to people who may never have the power or the care to validate it. I remember a friend, Aisha, who worked tirelessly on her art. Every painting, every sketch was filled with hours of thought, emotion, and sweat. But she rarely smiled at her own work. Instead, she posted them online, waiting for approval. If they like it, then it's good, she whispered to herself. And when the praise didn't come or the attention went elsewhere, she doubted herself, questioning the talent she had known in her heart all along. The world tells us constantly to seek approval. Teachers, bosses, even friends and family. Many unknowingly reinforce the habit. Do this and you'll be noticed. Achieve this and they'll admire you. Look a certain way, act a certain way, and you'll be loved. And we listen because we're human. We want to belong. We want to feel seen. But there's a dangerous trap here. When your sense of worth depends on external applause, you build your life on sand. The first wave of criticism, the first silence, the first moment someone doesn't see you, they shake the entire foundation. I've seen it in people I know. A man named Hamza, a talented writer, never felt proud of his words until someone he admired called them good. Before that, every manuscript sat in a drawer. He worked hard. He dreamed hard, but he didn't trust his own judgment. He believed that only external recognition could make his work meaningful. And in that waiting, years passed. Opportunities were missed. Ideas were abandoned because he thought he needed someone else's validation to justify his existence. The irony is that true fulfillment never comes from someone else's approval. It's in the quiet moments when you look at your own reflection and say, I am enough. My work is enough. My presence is enough. It's in the satisfaction of finishing a project just for yourself, of smiling at your own reflection without waiting for a compliment, of making a choice because it feels right to your soul rather than to someone else's expectations. I remember a mentor telling me once, the applause you need is already inside you. Listen to it, feel it, honor it. And the first time I truly did that, it felt like the world had shifted. Suddenly, the constant anxiety of wondering what others thought dissolved. Suddenly, the approval I had been chasing was no longer necessary because I carried it with me. Validation from within is like planting a tree and watching it grow, rain or shine. You don't need someone else to water it every day. You nurture it, you protect it, you give it sunlight, and it flourishes on its own. The branches stretch out, the roots deepen, and eventually the beauty of that tree becomes undeniable. Not because anyone told you it was beautiful, but because it simply is. People notice it, yes, but not because they make it valuable. It was valuable all along. And this isn't just about big things. It's about every small moment where you stop looking for permission to be happy, to be confident, to be yourself. It's about choosing the joy that comes from your own approval, about letting go of the exhausting habit of measuring your worth by someone else's glance, comment, or message. Because when you start trusting yourself, when you start validating your own existence, you stop living in someone else's story and start writing your own, a story where your happiness, your choices, and your life are yours first, and the rest simply follows naturally. That there's a remarkable transformation that happens when you turn your attention inward, when you stop worrying about who notices you or who doesn't, and start investing in yourself. I've seen it countless times, and every story is different, yet the pattern is the same. When people focus on their own growth, their confidence blooms, and the right people naturally enter their lives. Take a friend of mine, Bilal, for example. For years, he was stuck in a cycle of chasing friendships and romantic relationships that never fulfilled him. He constantly wondered why others didn't value his presence, why people seemed distant, or why his efforts were never reciprocated. He was exhausted, weighed down by rejection and uncertainty, until one day, he simply stopped, not out of bitterness, but out of realization. He realized that he had been living for other people's opinions instead of his own life. He started small, dedicating an hour each day to his passion for photography, reading books he loved, taking walks that cleared his mind, and learning new skills that excited him. At first, nothing seemed to change outwardly. The same people were still distant. The same opportunities seemed elusive. But something was shifting inside him. Confidence started growing quietly, like roots deep underground before a tree even breaks through the soil. He walked taller, spoke with more certainty, smiled without seeking permission, and for the first time in a long time, he felt fully alive in his own skin. And then the magic began. People who had previously overlooked him started noticing, not because he sought their attention, but because his energy had changed. He attracted collaborators for his projects, friends who appreciated him authentically, and eventually a romantic partner who saw him as whole, independent, and radiant. The lesson was clear: growth attracts growth. When you nurture yourself, others who resonate with that energy are drawn naturally. It's like polishing a mirror. If you constantly clean and care for it, the reflection becomes clear and light bounces off it brilliantly. People can't help but notice the brightness. But if you keep polishing for someone else's approval, the effort feels heavy and the shine becomes performative. True growth isn't for anyone else. It's for yourself. It's waking up in the morning and saying, I will invest in my skills, my health, my mindset, and my dreams today, and doing it without hesitation or external pressure. A young woman I once met, Zara, shared how she transformed her life by dedicating time to fitness, meditation, and creative writing. She wasn't seeking validation. She was building strength, clarity, and purpose. Within months, her confidence radiated so strongly that colleagues, friends, and even strangers were drawn to her presence. Opportunities arrived that she hadn't even imagined, not because she chased them, but because she became someone who naturally attracted them. The people who were meant to be in his life began showing up naturally. A mentor he had admired for years reached out with an unexpected opportunity. A friend he hadn't spoken to in months appeared with support and encouragement. Even his creative projects, which had languished in doubt for years, started gaining recognition. Not because he chased attention, but because the energy he radiated, authentic, confident, joyful, became magnetic. Fahd realized that by focusing on his own happiness and growth, he was not only enriching his own life, but he was aligning himself with the people, circumstances, and opportunities that truly resonated with his energy. It's like the sun rising after a long night. You can't force the sunrise to happen faster, and the darkness cannot dictate the light. But when the sun rises naturally, its warmth and brilliance reach everything in its path. In the same way, when you shine from within, when your happiness and growth become a focus, life aligns around that energy. Opportunities, people, and experiences flow toward you effortlessly, drawn by the magnetism of authenticity, joy, and self-respect. I've seen this over and over in the lives of others too. A young artist, tired of rejection, stopped trying to fit into what the market wanted and focused instead on creating what she loved. Within months, galleries began contacting her, not because she begged for attention, but because the energy she poured into her art made it irresistible. A colleague who had always felt overlooked in his company started dedicating himself to learning and mastering his craft. Soon, promotions, recognition, and partnerships came, not as a result of pushing or begging, but as a natural reflection of his energy and growth. Fahad learned that life does not respond to desperation, but it does respond to brilliance, to authenticity, and to the quiet confidence of someone who is fully invested in themselves. When you shine first, when you nurture your own happiness and growth, the world cannot help but align with your energy, bringing into your life exactly what is meant for you to SO today. I ask you to make a choice. Stop begging. Stop chasing. Stop giving your power away. Focus on you. Focus on your growth. Focus on your happiness. Because every moment you spend seeking validation from someone else is a moment stolen from your own life, your own dreams, your own brilliance. Step back, shine first, and let the world align with your energy. Step back, shine first, and watch the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences come to you naturally. Step back, shine first, and feel the freedom of living for yourself fully, unapologetically, without compromise. Do not wait another day. Do not wait for someone else to tell you that you are worthy. Do not wait for circumstances to be perfect. Start now. Start today. Start with yourself. Build your confidence. Nurture your joy. Strengthen your spirit, and watch everything else follow. Because the power is already inside you. The light is already yours. The life you've been chasing is already waiting for you to claim it. Remember this. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. When you stop begging, you start commanding. When you focus on you, the world cannot help but notice. You do not need permission. You do not need approval. You do not need anyone to tell you that you are enough. Because you already are. So shine. Shine so brightly that the world has no choice but to see you. Shine so powerfully that your life begins to rearrange itself around your energy. Shine so unapologetically that those who are meant for you cannot resist being drawn toward you. Your support means everything. If this resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. And never forget this truth. The more you shine for yourself, the less you need the world to chase you. Because the life that is meant for you will always find its way to you. Thank you for being here. See you in the next one.